and up, lanak, naup, naM, June 27th. Ivan, Nikki, Weifen, and I were language surfing with a few of the others. Some of us were sitting at our own different tables. Some of us with a partner. We were strapping on the safety equipment. For a really good surf, a rider needed to know at least 3 languages, although knowing only 2 could still make for an interesting enough surf. Hunting the palimpsests for palindromes, we were on a special mission that defied our senses of logic. I was busy in a fantasy realm of long legs and psychotic deviancy, so when I got a bit stuck, the others helped me to get out and brought my logic back to the purpose. I was the weakest link in the chain, Weifen the strongest. Our team was destined to snap at some point, but we would at least have a lot of fun before that happened. Some of us would become vegetables, and we had already taken bets that it wouldn't be ourselves. I was going to clean up. Ivan was the first out in the waves. He was thrashing about, making a lot of noise. The language was spraying out of the nozzle, and now he was having a difficult time controlling it. The surf was choppy and not easy to manage. There were lots of drugs to the right of his object, and some sex on the other side as well, but he wasn't distracted from his goal. He got to the words he needed and carried on, a stronger individual. And there we went, following him in a loose pack. Now the mafia hounds were onto us. Nikki, who was the weakest with technology, began to fall behind, but I brought her back into the fold. Surfing wasn't her strongest suit, although as a team member there were other places where she could bring anyone to their knees. In the bedroom, the bathroom, or the kitchen, she could destroy all opponents, and this was where she helped me the most. Elsewhere, the surf was the most dangerous for her, and she hit it with a kind of leeriness. But I had seen her getting stronger, and knew that it was only a matter of time before we would all be her slaves. Meanwhile, Weifen had the confidence that Ivan and I had. She also knew that her powers were quite genuine, and she became our leader. I was enjoying the game, and Ivan was engrossed in the research possibilities. He was definitely the inventive scholar in our group, while I was the chronicler. We surfed until we encountered our first enemy. At that point, we broke up and dealt with him from different angles, each using a different language, mindful of choosing ones that wouldn't interfere with each other, confusing him long enough for him to sink in the morass of words, drowned in the surf of language. We looked to the horizon. There was so much there, so many words in the sea that we couldn't command. At this point, staying afloat on the surface was all that we could do, and it was our most powerful tool. Once we knew enough to navigate, we couldn't be stopped unless we were overwhelmed, after which we would be destroyed, our material bodies destined to become furniture. Weeks went by. We achieved great successes with our projects, and our languages became powerful tools. We decided to conduct solo missions for a period and regroup to tell of our successes or failures as individuals. I sensed that if all went well, this could be our last mission together, even though we wouldn't actually be together for most of it. If we were successful, some would leave the group and others would use the chance to get out of the game. If we failed, we might fall back on each other, and if we failed miserably, we would be crippled as a group. Success had made us arrogant. I hope my fears wouldn't be realized. The moment came, and each person went off into his or her own field. I encountered my study group and I surfed with them for some time. We hit many waves, and I used my experience to bring them higher. I chose the moment that was right for bringing them down, and I withdrew my support. They tumbled like pawns. It was always like this, too easy. The language was amorphous and suffuse. It was a powerful tool for all of us to use, and I was mastering it. Words rolled off me, and I absorbed the ones that I needed and became more powerful. As I was moving around in the language, I sensed a presence moving behind me. I hurried up, I slowed down, but the presence was always in my blind spot. I couldn't shake it and didn't know what to do. Suddenly, I knew that I was in greater danger than I'd ever been in my life before, and I sped up as fast as I could. But finally, I was almost bowled over by a flying memo, a dangerous paper cut that nearly sliced me in half. I somehow managed to get away, and saw that the wraith was fleeing as well, yet still some distance ahead of me. Perhaps it knew my destination and was trying to beat me there to destroy my retreat. I pulled through the dangerous waves and lost sight of my target. I became momentarily lost. Then I saw that the haven had been moved. I was just at the end of my reserve of energy and nearing desperation when it appeared in front of me, almost as if it knew that I was at my weakest and nearly destroyed. I pulled into the haven, gasping, my entire body an aching sore. I collapsed on the ground, all my languages useless due to mental fatigue. I couldn't get a word out, but I looked up. The chairs belonging to Ivan and Huifen were empty. It was Nikki alone, smiling above me.